Hello, welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today is day 11 of our ease/transition into the new year, and today we focus on lower body flexibility. So this class is all about the glutes, hamstrings, groins, hips, everything like that. We don't need any props unless you would like to have a block handy to help you get deeper into the stretches. But other than that, we are ready to begin. Beginning today in easy seat, ankles crossed, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to warm up the upper body a little bit here, one breath each movement. So first, we'll flow through this twice. So first, right hand down, left arm overhead, big inhale. And then twist it, left hand comes to the knee, exhale. Other side, inhale, reach the right arm overhead. And exhale, twist to the left. Back to center, interlace the hands behind the chest, inhale, pull them down, chest comes up. And exhale, we forward fold, taking the hands over the head. Inhale, lifting back up, releasing the hands. Take one breath here to reset. Left arm comes overhead, big inhale, reach. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach the right arm overhead. And exhale, twist. Back to center, hands clasped, lifting the chest up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the chest back up and release the fingertips. They can float to the knees before we take a few little hip circles. Just finding a little bit of movement here, making these as organic as possible. Whatever feels good, little smaller movements, or maybe some huge hip circles. Making sure to reverse and even out. And we can meet back in neutral spine. Taking the hands behind the hips, sending the legs out long for straddle pose. Flexing the feet. It's okay if our legs are not super open yet. This is the whole point of today's practice. So we can always take them in a little bit more. Don't have to be super wide here. So taking one breath to find our seat. Inhale. Lift the chest and exhale, creep the fingertips forward. Still rotating the foot and the knee back behind you, so we might not go too far. We'll do a few little stretches and then we'll revisit here to notice the difference. So just one breath. And then lift the chest back up. Take the hand over to the right foot, reaching the left overhead. Sending the hips down into the mat, really reaching over, trying to grab onto the right foot, trying to reach for it. Exhale, gently release, come back up, creep the left hand down towards the foot as we still open up through the groins. Beautiful. Coming back up, send the arms out, long shoulder height. We're going to twist 5 times to each side. So right hand tries to tap the left foot, ankle, toes, and back up. Left. So it's a very nice reach. We're still trying to ground down through the sit bones. So we're really opening through the inner groins here. 3. Maybe noticing which side is already more open for you today before we try and balance it out. So there we have 5. Let me lift back up. Big inhale. Exhale. Now we forward fold. Creep those fingertips out. Maybe now we come down onto the elbows. Maybe we don't. That's okay too. Maybe take a little sway side to side. Really open up here. Beautiful. On your next inhale, lift back up. Take the knees up. Ooh, slide those back. Reach for the big toes as we find our upward seated straddle. So extending the legs, finding your balance spot on the sit bones here. Reaching them up, trying to pull the chest forward through the legs. You can feel this running down the hamstrings, the calves. One more breath. You got it. Nice and strong. And then exhale, you can take the feet in together and release into a bound angle. Beautiful. Pull the feet into the chest as far as feels good. Remembering to not cause any pain or discomfort. Sending the knees down through the mat as we use our feet here to lift the chest and pull it forward. Taking a few breaths here, really working through the groins, opening up, maybe releasing some hidden emotions, hidden feelings. As we go through all of these hip openers, that tends to happen. So we will practice sending ourselves love with whatever comes up and arises for us today. Inhale to raise the chest and release the feet, extending the right leg out long as we turn onto the left, making our way into pigeon pose. But before we come into our traditional pigeon, tuck the toes, so we're on the ball of the foot, and really reach that heel back. So our knee is lifted. We have a lot more space in this hip flexor here. This is going to feel a little bit different than our pigeon pose where we're targeting the glutes. So this is targeting more of the hip flexor as we send the hips down but reach the heel back. One more breath. And then exhale, release the knee, untuck the toes, make your way into that familiar, comfortable pigeon pose. Maybe take a sleeping pigeon for a few breaths, about 2. See how much we can soften into that hip. And then inhale, lift the chest. Gently come onto the sit bones as we transition to the other side. So first, coming up onto the ball of the foot, sending that heel back. Chest is nice and lifted. Say good morning to that hip flexor. Wake her up. And exhale, release into pigeon pose. Finding that right glute as we release down. Taking 2 breaths here. Coming back into the body, bringing our awareness to the breath. Inhale, lift the chest, plant the hands, tuck the back foot to come into downward facing dog. Start to pedal out the feet, bending the knees, reaching the heels down, sending the hips up, nice long lines. Find our static downward facing dog and hold here for 1 breath. And gently release the elbows, the forearms down onto the mat, and make your way into dolphin, maybe walking the feet up a little bit more, few inches. And then exhale, press through the hands, send the shoulders back as far as feels good. Trying to reach the chest towards the legs, really opening up through the scapula, the chest. 1 more breath. Then on your next inhale, gently lower yourself down into Sphinx pose. Inhale, untuck the toes, lift the chest, press through the mat. Shine the heart forward. Take 1 more deep breath here. And then on your next exhale, send the hips back into child's pose. Really feel the lengthening of the lower back as we melt the heart down for one breath. Then inhale to lift the chest, tuck the toes, making our way back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet. Ground through that left foot, raise the right behind, then bend the knee, tuck it in through the chest and send it out to the left wrist. Grounding down through this right wrist, peeling the left arm up and coming down to the inner edge of the foot, fallen triangle. Exhale, plant the left hand, take it back, three-legged dog. And then bend the knee and open the hips, stacking them, flexing that foot, scorpion. Maybe taking your gaze under the shoulder. We're here for one breath. Then releasing back to three-legged dog, exhale. Inhale, gaze at the hands. Bend the knee and plant it in between the hands, raising up, high lunge, but keeping the chest down on top of the thigh. Arms sweep back, heel sends back towards the back of the room. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bring them back as the chest meets the thigh. Inhale, sweep the arms up, lift the chest. And exhale, drop this left knee down, slowly coming into low lunge. Take one breath here, sinking the hips down. And then drop this right hand to the mat. Reach the left overhead, little side body stretch. Coming back up to neutral spine, taking the hands to heart center as we send the hips down one more time. Framing the foot, tuck the back toes to lift up and straighten the legs, flexing this front foot coming into pyramid pose. If this is too intense, we can always plant the foot back down, but this really deepens into the hamstrings. Breathe. Inhale to find length and exhale to fold. One more round of breath. Then plant that right foot down. Step up to the top of the mat, lifting this left leg behind, trying to reach the chest to the leg, using your fingertips for stability here, standing split. One more breath, trying to create as much space as we can between the hips. And then bend the knee, step up to the top of the mat and forward fold. Inhale to reach the chest up, mountain pose. Hands meet at the top, upward mountain. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, flat back, dive down. Halfway lift, and exhale to step back to plank pose, taking a vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog to repeat on the other side. Grounding down through the right foot, raising the left, three-legged dog, bending the knee, sending it underneath the right shoulder, fallen triangle, peel that right arm up. Exhale, plant the hand, back to three-legged dog. And then bend the knee, stack the hips, open them as wide as you can, and flex that foot towards the other side of the room. Exhale, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, bring it all the way up through the chest, plant it in between the hands, high lunge. Chest is down by the thigh. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale, airplane. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back. One more time. Inhale. And this exhale, drop the right knee down, nice and gentle. Nice and gentle. Take one big reach and exhale to sink the hips down, still knitting the thighs together. Dropping this left hand to the mat, reaching the right overhead. One breath. And then releasing, taking them to the heart center. Taking a check-in here, one breath. Then releasing the fingers to the mat, making our way into our pyramid pose, flexing the foot or keeping it planted, depending on how you feel. 3 breaths here. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold. Beautiful. And then planting the left foot, stepping up to our standing splits. Maybe noticing a difference on this leg with your balance or your flexibility, but not attaching any judgments, just observing. And on your next exhale, gently plant the right foot next to the left, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands come above, and exhale, heart center. You can gently make your way onto the bum, bending the knees, scooting them back, and finding our way into staff pose. Flexing the feet, sending energy out through the heels, reaching up through the crown of the head. Inhale, find length. And exhale, fold, walking the fingertips down towards the feet. Finding a little rest here, a little time to slow our breathing down if it got up there. Coming back to our natural rhythms. And again, noticing how you feel. Inhale, lift the chest, walk the fingertips back. Plant that left foot on the mat and cross the right ankle over the knee, bringing the chest up towards the legs, really opening up through this glute. Keeping the shoulders down and back. And exhale, finding a twist, crossing that left leg underneath, planting the right foot, and taking whatever variation of this twist feels good. If it's better to hug yourself with your right arm or your left arm, trying to keep both sit bones down, rooted through the mat as we twist gently wherever our body takes us. And then releasing back to center, unraveling the arms, planting this right foot, crossing the left over top to open up the hips. Finding sweet relief at this point in our practice, feeling nice and open and good. One more breath. Release tension in any areas you're finding it. And gently make your way into our twist. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. Coming back through center, unraveling those legs, and slowly, carefully making your way down onto the back. Finding our final resting pose for this practice, preparing for a few moments of quiet and stillness. Taking either corpse pose, maybe a reclined bound angle, releasing tension in the legs, in the face, letting yourself melt into the earth, letting gravity hold you down, relaxing the muscles that we just lengthened out, allowing all of the benefits to seep into your body. Just being in this moment, feeling light and open and joyful. We can stay here as long as it feels necessary for us, or we can gently find our way onto one side before we press up to a seat. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this lower body focused class and you feel a little bit more open. I would love to know how it went for you down below, and I hope I see you tomorrow for day 12. Have a great rest of your day, friends. Namaste.